Good afternoon and welcome to Reentering the Workforce, Job Resources, and More. I'm Kelly Stoddard-Poor with AARP Vermont. I'm the Associate State Director and work here in the Burlington, Vermont State Office. And I'm lucky to be joined by my wonderful partners from the Associates for Training and Development, also known as A4TD. We have Patty Gannon and Rick Bugbee, and we'll be presenting an overview on different types of resources and programs to re-entering the workforce. Patty will touch upon work-based internships, job readiness, digital literacy, credential training, and job search strategies. Thank you for joining us today. And Patty, I would like to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm Patty. As Kelly mentioned, I'm the Director of Programs here in Vermont, so I'm very excited to be here with you all today. So we're the Associates for Training and Development. We're empowering the senior workforce, which is where we are overcoming barriers with A4TD's Worker Center Sector-Based Job Training Model. So who is A4TD? We are a 501c3 nonprofit founded in 1983, so we've been around a while here in Vermont. What we do, we administer workforce development programs specifically for mature workers, increase training and employment opportunities for individuals who are age 55 plus, and we assist individuals with barriers to employment to find and retain jobs. And over here to the right, we have a diagram just showing our core values, which are continuous improvement, customer focus, teamwork, and partnerships. So what is CSEP? CSEP is the Senior Community Service Employment Program. It's funded by the U.S. Department of Labor, and it's a transitional training program to prepare older adults who have a training need and barriers to employment for stepping stone jobs. We have a dual purpose mission. One is community service, to use citizen service as a strategy to meet community needs, and participants where they can earn a wage while they learn new skills and provide labor for nonprofits or public municipalities. And the others is employment, and that is to provide participants with the training and services necessary to obtain unsubsidized employment, and then assistance with the job search.
And Patty, if I could chime in here. Hi, everyone, it's Rick. I'm the Vice President of Programs for A4TD. I think this is a really cool part of this program. The Senior Community Service Employment Program has been around since 1965. It was part of the Older Americans Act. And if you're probably familiar with some other programs like senior centers, Meals on Wheels, those were all funded from the same legislation as CSEP was back in 1965. And it is a jobs training program. It's meant to help people upskill, to improve their skills so they can re-enter the workforce. But another really cool part of the program that we'll talk more about is it is an internship program. So when the slide talks about community service, individuals in our program, and we serve people throughout the state of Vermont, they're actually going into a workplace setting and they're providing a community service to a nonprofit organization. We all know that nonprofits never have enough resources to do all the important work that they're doing. So this program also gives back to the local nonprofits within their communities, because in essence, the Vermonters that are in our program are performing work tasks while they're learning for that nonprofit. It's free of charge to that nonprofit. So it really is a cool aspect to the program, and while you're providing a work task or completing work tasks for the nonprofit, at the same time, you're learning a bunch of different skills, which is going to help improve your skills to hopefully secure employment. So it really is a nice part of the program.
Thanks, Rick. So the eligibility requirements are that you're age 55 plus, low income, which means you're below the 125% poverty level, unemployed, and that you have barriers to employment.
And I think what's important really here, Patty, is the low income piece. The regulations for the program, because it is a federally funded program, is that one must be, in 125% of the poverty guidelines. But that's really tricky because there's a lot of things that do not count. There are some assets that only count partially. So, for example, one could have $1 million in the bank, and that doesn't count, for example. So, I think what really is really matters is if you are age 55 plus, if you are unemployed, and you're looking to get back in the workforce, we definitely want to talk with you, and then we can figure out all the income pieces later on to see if you qualify.
Okay, so at A4TD, this is work-based training. This assigns participants, as Rick just mentioned, to paid internships. They're typically 20 hours per week, and these are at the local nonprofits or public municipalities that we referred to. And this is the workplace experience training that you will gain. And there are some examples of places that folks are assigned to for their internships, like area agencies on aging, which here is Age Well, community action agencies, senior centers, and others include American Red Cross, ECHO, City of Burlington, COTS, Care Partners, and lots more in all the years we've been here in Vermont.
Yeah, and I think what's important there, Patty, is the examples that we gave are just Chittenden County based. Keep in mind, we are statewide. So we have the same partners, whether are in the Northeast Kingdom, Central Vermont, or in Southern Vermont, in the Bennington, Brattleboro area, and everywhere in between. So we have a wealth of partners throughout the state that really, when we talk about work-based training, it's a fancy way of saying an in-person internship is really what it is. And then Patty will talk about Ed on the side here. He's looking pretty happy about his training. He's really dressed up, isn't he, Patty?
Yes, he sure is. So Ed is feeling on top of the world. He recently started training at Catholic Charities, as I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, as an office assistant to the caseworkers. Edward's goal is to be a peer specialist. He's taking courses to receive certification. So through CSEP, Ed is getting in-person exposure to complement the coursework he is taking on the side, and we'll go into that in a little bit. So good luck, Ed. A4TD is behind you 100%.
And Ed's got a big smile on his face. He did get a little bit more dressed up because he knew we were taking his picture. So it's not like we would expect people to be that dressed up every day. But Ed is having a wonderful training experience. You'll see it was taken this past summer. So it's a few months old, but he's having a great time and learning a lot and hopefully preparing himself to find employment.
Okay, so worker-centered, sector-based service delivery model is the key to developing and executing strategies to assist older adults with multiple barriers to successfully participate in job training and prepare for employment. And that means it's to be worker-centered and take an individualized approach. So listening, be patient, understanding needs of our participants, offering multiple options, be repetitive and be realistic. These are the things that are going to help get to the goals that you're all seeking, that people in the program are seeking.
Right. And that's really important, Patty, the goals. And the key word on this whole slide that you're seeing is individualized, right? All of us have a story. Your current and people that we're working with are unemployed for whatever the reason may be. So our goal is to understand why is someone unemployed? What have they been doing for employment previously, and what would they like to do in the future? And our goal is to figure out, based on that, what sort of training an individual needs, so we can help them get that training, improve their skills, and be prepared for jobs to secure employment that interests them. That is really their goal. So, what we're doing for one person is going to be totally different from what we're doing from another person because everyone's backgrounds and interests are different. And so it's not a cookie cutter approach at all.
Okay, so here, this diagram above is showing your individualized assessment of skills and needs that we do here, the workforce advisors for reliable and consistent support, and then the peer support and an outside network. These are the worker-centered integrated team model. So tailor support specifically to each worker's skills, barriers, and career goals. Maximizing the potential for each worker to succeed by focusing on unique needs, making the support more effective and relevant. The model adapts to evolving industry needs by continuously updating the support and training provided. So for how long we've been here in Vermont, it's evolved all along through the years because things change.
Yeah, and I think this graphic on the top, Patty, really highlights that whole individualized approach, right? Our goal is to learn more about you so that we can make sure and give you the training you need to secure employment. That employment may be full-time, part-time, nights, weekends, days, flex scheduling. Those are things that we would learn about you. So our workforce advisors are going to learn more about what you're looking for. They're going to assess some of your skills. So, for example, we're going to give you digital literacy assessments to see how are your computer skills, and what sort of training do you need? Because we all know that every job, for the most part, you need some sort of computer skills. So, how can we help you in that avenue? So, there's assessments that we're going to give you, so we have information to best support you. And then, that whole little graphic at the peer support and the outside network is we're going to get a lot of other people involved. We're going to get the Vermont Department of Labor involved. We're going to get adult basic education involved if necessary. Maybe we're going to get career technical education centers involved. Maybe CCV may even be contacted to figure out who best do we want to partner with to ensure that we're providing the best training services to each individual that we're helping. So that's really important to us.
Okay, and here's a nice diagram on the right, and it explains the pathway to training and service. So how CSEP helps older workers' career pathways aligns with the skills needs of industries, includes job counseling to support an individual in achieving their goals. This also includes education with workforce activities and training, and organizing education, training, and other services to prepare an individual to be successful in employment. So as you can see, it's a pretty much from beginning to end. We offer services to help with your stepping stone back into the workforce. So on this diagram on the right, you can see starts with the eligibility determination. So we determine the eligibility of each person that's applying. Then we go through a pre-site training activities, and over to you'll see in the smaller writing there's explanations about this, and then the supportive service assistance and work-based community service training, and we'll go over the smaller text in a minute, specialized training to intensive job search and transition to unsubsidized jobs. So I don't know, Rick, if you want to just kind of summarize what those are.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know for anyone else, but the winding road reminds me of going over the Notch and Stowe. I don't know if anyone else, or actually maybe going up the road to Killington or something. But it basically is we're trying to create a pathway for each of our Vermonters that we're helping, because everyone's going to have different needs and different wants, and different experiences. I think what's really important to highlight here is that we talked about the internship training that we talked about, and that's where in the center where it says work-based community service training. That's what we've been talking about up to this point. But right above it, it talks about supportive service assistance. We really take a holistic approach. So we're going to focus on training and employment services, but we're also going to want to make sure that you have all of your other basic needs. And some people, individuals come to us and they're all set. Others are not. Others may need help with housing or food or weatherization or healthcare, whatever it may be. If you need additional assistance in those areas, we're going to connect you with the right people to make sure that you're getting everything that you need and that the state can give you. On the flip side, if we go down a couple more where it says specialized training, that's where really the money is, right? The training is going to be an internship with a nonprofit organization, learning a bunch of skills in that workplace setting. But what else can we complement your training with? So, for example, if you're interested in working in a customer service setting, we're going to get you additional classroom customer service training. We partner with a wonderful company based in Michigan, for example. If you need digital literacy training, computer skills training, we partner with a couple of local Vermont organizations called Technology for Tomorrow and Knowledge Wave, for example. We're going to get you connected with them. If you are looking to work in the restaurant industry, in the food industry, we're going to help you get your ServSafe credential, which you will need in order to get any job within the food industry. So, and you're interested in getting in the healthcare field, you want to become an LNA. We're going to connect with your local career technical education center at your high school to see if they offer LNA training. So we're going to make sure we're also going to give you those credentialed certification licensure program opportunities because employers are really looking for that. And at the same time, we're going to work together with you to make sure that we're targeting employers that have job openings that match the skills you have and the interests that you have. And that's a we do that together because our goal is, again, at the end, is to help individuals re-enter the workforce to improve their economic self-sufficiency and quality of life, and that's our number one goal. So let's just take you through the pathway. Some people start at different parts of that pathway, but it is pretty all-inclusive.
Okay, and so our diagram to the left is kind of showing the process through where all of these intersect with the participants in the program. So CSEP recruits, guides, and supports participants in developing job readiness skills toward their employment goal. Then we have employers get access to job-ready candidates, and training providers fill seats and maintain revenue streams for the participants in the program who are securing stepping stone jobs in the sector. So how CSEP helps older workers, sector-based training, we focus on the needs of regional employers in specific industries. As we mentioned, that's always evolving, involving a partnership with employers, training providers, workforce boards, and other organizations, identifying common skills within the sector, and we work with local training providers, as we just mentioned, to create standardized curriculums, partnering with partnerships that offer job readiness training, occupational skills training, support services, and job search assistance. And this leads to a recognized credential or certification, as Rick was just mentioning.
The important part of this slide is the word sector. Sector is a fancy word for industry, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a look throughout the state of Vermont, which industries have a lot of job openings. We all know there's a ton of job openings in healthcare, right? Everyone talks about, and that's just an example, everyone talks about the clinical jobs in healthcare, like I just mentioned, the LNA. But every healthcare facility, especially the hospitals, the urgent care facilities, they may have administrative jobs. They may have food prep jobs. They may have janitorial maintenance jobs. They may have customer service, greeting types of jobs. So there's the non-clinical jobs as well. So using healthcare is the easy example because we know that's the highest growing industry in the state. There's a lot of job opportunities that are available and that are ones that mature workers want and can do. So we're really going to partner with, for example, healthcare systems in the state. It's not just going to be UVM Medical Center, for example. It's going to be all the urgent care facilities, all the community health centers, local doctors' offices, and we're going to see where are those jobs in those particular healthcare industries. And then we're going to try to help match you with those types of jobs. I'm just using healthcare as an example, but we could use any industry. The goal is that we're going to help you find work in an industry that you want to be involved in. And then partnerships with those employers and with others throughout the state, as mentioned on the slide, is really our work to make sure that we're providing you the best training experience possible.
Okay, so network to work meetings. These are a highlight of our program because it's a time when participants can come together and share their challenges, their successes. So this is really an important part of what we do here. So these are monthly participant meetings. During these meetings, there will be a job readiness skills topic. So there's something to discuss about, things that will help you prepare out there in the, job search areas that you're looking in. A local employer as a guest speaker. We try to find guest speakers at all of our monthly meetings because those are ways to enrich the experience for our participants to hear from the local employer and what's going on out there. Information on job search, employment trends and opportunities, and other relevant information, and also the opportunity to meet and network, as I mentioned, with other CSEP participants, which is a huge part of these network to work meetings, is being able to be face-to-face with the folks that are doing exactly what you're doing, trying to get a good training good training here at A4TD, and then also to be moving on to those unsubsidized jobs in the future.
And Patty, on the right, you'll see a picture of some of our mature workers at a recent Network to Work meeting. For example, a couple of topics that we do a different topic every month, as Patty talked about. It could be anything from what is a resume? What are the important parts of a resume? It could be a conversation about career resiliency, which we all need to have as we become a mature worker. It could be how do we target employers in our communities to find jobs that are going to align with our job goal. Another one is networking. How do we network with employers and others in your community to try to help you find jobs? Because a lot of jobs aren't posted on Vermont Job Link or on Indeed.com. They're sort of hidden, what we call hidden jobs, where people that are hiring are looking for referrals. So we always say it's all in who you know. So networking is really important as well. So those are the different types of topics and conversations we'll have in these Network to Work meetings, where we're presenting information, but we're also giving our mature Vermonters a chance to engage with each other and share their experiences.
Oh, another thing to mention about the Network to Work, they spread throughout Vermont. You don't have to travel to one spot.
Sure.
There are several spots throughout. We try to make it as convenient as possible for people to be able to attend these in their region.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is the technology access and understanding about peer mentoring, technology navigator, and being comfortable with more than just the basics.
Right. So our goal is, as we mentioned earlier, is we want everyone in our program to get computer training. Because employers have told us in Vermont that they need their employees to have a certain level of computer skills. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to assess where you're at when we meet you, and then we're going to try to get you to another level. And the way we do that is a couple different things. First of all, if you do not have a computer, or if you do not have internet access, we can help you get that for free of charge, first of all. The second thing is we're going to help make sure that you know how to understand and use the technology. And we have a peer mentoring program where mature workers in Vermont are helping other mature workers in Vermont. And so we set up sessions where someone who's really good at technology can help someone who's trying to learn new skills in technology. So that whole peer-to-peer mentoring is really important. And then finally, like the what it says on the far right of the slide, we just want people to become more comfortable with it, be able to navigate and use it, because employers have really told us that's what they're looking for. So the good thing is if you don't have the technology or the internet access, we can give that to you at no cost. And by the way, none of these services would cost you anything. Okay, they're all free, and so forth. So that's really important to say. How about some successes, Patty?
All right, so some successes here for some folks through the program. The technology program provides technology, the Chromebook and mouse, as Rick was just mentioning, and the internet connectivity through the MiFi, and so access to all who do not have a personal computer and or internet, so they can engage in online training activities. So this is much of what Rick was explaining. And then digital literacy and access to computers and internet is essential for job seekers to engage in training and work. We all know computers are the current way that we all have to work, and also well into the future. So important that this is something that we are able to offer participants coming into the program. Peer-to-peer mentoring, participants helping participants, providing virtual support so participants learn and feel more confident in their capabilities. So this program, I've seen it in action where there's a particular participant who just needs that extra support, and we do have that mentoring program to be able to have a mentor help a mentee to get some better computer skills. Just a great great option here. So over on the right, we have a quote from a CSEP mentee. My mentor is a patient, supportive, kind, and knowledgeable mentor. My first session was very rough. I was very frustrated and I wanted to give up, but my mentor stuck with me and I'm not a quitter. I'm amazed with how much I'm learning. My mentor was there to help me. So that's a success story right there, just kind of getting involved with the program and getting better skills. And down below we have a mentor who said, I have become humble as a mentor. I've learned that the people I work with have as much to offer me as I do them. I really enjoy helping people learn computer skills. So great stories from a mentee and a mentor.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Patty. And I don't know if everyone can see in the picture in the upper right-hand corner, if you see the gentleman who is, you can see he's talking to his computer screen, and you may be able to see another face in his computer screen. He's talking to his mentor. So that's a perfect example about how we're connecting our mentees with our mentors in order to help with computer training. And again, it's a non-threatening environment. It's a mature Vermonter helping another mature Vermonter, and we've had a lot of success with it. It's one of the things that came out of COVID, believe it or not, that's been really successful. So everyone says not a lot of good things came out of COVID. Well, this is actually something that came out that was good. So that's really great.
Okay, then our next section slide on the slide is about employer engagement. So that sector strategy, that word sector that Rick brought up about the industry, target employers and positions that match qualifications or skills, connecting with businesses with a history of supporting a multi-generational culture, which is really important, and working environment. Then we have looking for stepping stone positions. That stepping stone is getting back into the workforce that our participants are capable of obtaining in areas that complement their interest and training that they have received. Promoting OJEs, which is on-the-job experience. Rick can give a little background on that. Providing support through hiring process and beyond, and then emphasizing the wellness and diversity of the workforce.
Right. The big thing about this is, as I said before, is we're going to connect with employers. We're going to help you find employment. And we're going to do it in an industry that we want to target based on your needs. And that whole promoting OJEs, what that really means is we have employer incentives. So if employers are willing to hire a person in one of our programs, we can give them incentives. So we really have a little carrot that we can put in front of them and says, if you hire our program participants, our mature Vermonters, we can give you some money. Right. So it's really something we can do to try to hopefully seal a deal to help one of our program participants secure employment. And we're always promoting the good job principles. The good job principles were put out by the United States Department of Labor, which talks about equitable pay, which talks about diversity, which talks about flexible scheduling and other topics like that. So if you're interested in more about that, just Google good job principles and you'll hear a little bit more about that. But we really support those principles because we want to make sure that our mature Vermonters are entering into an employment setting that they can be successful in. That's really important to us.
So we're promoting the unique needs and benefits of older workers on this slide. So building confidence, touting the benefits of a mature worker that the mature worker can bring to a company, addressing assumptions about older workers in employment, part-time flexible schedule, and supportive services and resources.
Right. So what we're doing there is we're advocating for you, for the mature Vermonter. We know that there are a lot of older adults in Vermont that have a lot of skills that employers could benefit from. So what we try to tell employers that we're working with is we've got a lot of rock stars in Vermont that they'd be foolish not to hire. So our goal is to really advocate for our program participants so the employers fall in love with them. And then obviously they're going to want to hire them.
So I'll just briefly go over the top 10 reasons to hire mature workers. And they'd start with being dependable, being educated, mature, being creative and adaptable, cooperative, safe, and being a mentor and setting an example for the other employees. Train and being trained, because people that are mature workers have been through a lot of life experience as well as job experience in a lot of cases. So mature workers referred to you by A4TD have been receiving on-the-job training. So that's really important to get out to public and through the nonprofits and the public agencies, and their skills are up to date. So that's really important to highlight. And then pre-screened, the A4TD will pre-screen mature worker applicants for you and will only send you the ones best qualified for the job you need to. So there are 10 really good reasons why we feel, and that we really try to stress to an employer why mature workers are so valuable. We have CSEP outcomes. One is that they're more likely to retain employment due to the training and support they received while in CSEP. They self-reported physical and mental health are better during and after participation, allowing for more productivity, greater self-confidence, and greater openness to new experiences and job opportunities. And increased financial independence means they're in a more stable situation, which reduces absenteeism at work. So these are outcomes that any employer should welcome, and will be able to talk to all these, that these are the outcomes that you get through CSEP.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, right? We've been focusing on training leading to employment because that's what the Senior Community Service Employment Program is all about. So that's why that first one talks about going through a training program. People are more apt to retain employment because they're going to be prepared for that job. But I think the other part of that is a lot of us have an identity through our work. Working makes us feel good. We're contributing. We're giving back to our communities. We're feeling better about ourselves. We're staying active. Those are all means that we're healthier, right? We have a better confidence, and we feel, better about ourselves and our abilities. And the other part to mention that we didn't mention earlier, and we apologize for that, but when we were talking about the internships, the grant allows us to pay everyone minimum wage. So in Vermont right now, that's $14.01, and hopefully it goes up a lot more. So you will get paid to be in that internship. So that's going to help your financial independence, because as you're learning, you're also getting paid on top of maybe some other stuff that you're receiving as well. Maybe you're collecting the Social Security benefit every month, for example. So that's really important. And most of the internships are a minimum of 20 hours a week. And so that's really important as well, to let you know. So it really is. And if I go back to, and I apologize, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going to try to get back to, and maybe I'm not going to be able to. I guess it's not a very good idea, Patty. Is if everyone can visualize that career pathway, right? Whereas we're introduced to you, we learn more about you, to figure out what your needs are and how the program can help you. And then we're going to design a training plan that's going to include an internship that you're going to get paid at a minimum of 20 hours a week. We're going to help you with other supportive services if you need some other basic needs. And then we're going to work with you for classroom training, whether it be computer training or some other industry credential training, to really give you that well-rounded training experience, to then work with you to target employers to help you find employment. And we're going to be your number one advocate in doing that. So that is the Senior Community Service Employment Program. And if we were together in person, this is when we would ask you questions. The one other thing I just would say is, we talked about that we are statewide. We do have 7 offices in the state. So we serve all 14 counties, but we do have 7 brick and mortar offices. And if I just start in the north and I go north to south, they would be in St. Albans, Burlington, over into St. Johnsbury, back into central Vermont into Montpelier. And then we have 3 offices in southern Vermont, and they are Rutland, Bennington, and Brattleboro. So if you have any questions or want to learn more about our program, a couple ways that you can reach out to us. Our website is www.4td.org, and our 1-800 number is 439-3307. So we would welcome you to either contact us in either one of those means. And with that, Kelly, I think we'll turn it back over to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Patty. Thank you, Rick, for a wonderful informational webinar. And we will send out a number of links to participants as well. And you can always visit a4td.org to find out more information. And thank you for joining our webinar today.
Thank you.